We're going to go in a little stronger on tonight. We dealt with intercourse on part 1. This is part 2. So let's talk about it since you're ready on tonight. Intercourse. That's what we're talking about on tonight, girls. That's what we're talking about. Intercourse. When you enter into course with someone, when you go into the course with someone. I shared with someone early on today, and I told them that I would be talking about intercourse on tonight, and they said sexual intercourse. I said I didn't stutter. That's what I said. Intercourse. We're talking about intercourse. Sexual, yes, sexual intercourse. When we think about intercourse, we think about the word intercourse, course, to be studied, to go into the same pathway, to unite on the same trail. To take a subject is a course, right? To study a subject is a course. To eat a meal, the main course, when we're talking about the course of the meal, the steps of the meal, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 course steps to a meal. When we're talking about intercourse, we're talking about going into the inner part of the person, the inner part of the relationship, the inner part of that serious spiritual connection. Because I said before, and I'm going to say it again, intercourse is very spiritual. Intercourse is very spiritual. It's not just physical. When two come together in a course, to connect in a soul, to come together on one accord, to bind together. That's what intercourse is coming together as one and entering into a course. It's not just when you're married. Whenever you come together sexually with the person, those ties that will form together, you're entangled. You have committed an inter-counter act with that person, and you're going on a course. Yes, you're going on a course. Now, when I said that intercourse is very spiritual, it is very spiritual. Think about when somebody is into you, intimacy. You know, intimacy. What are you seeing into me? How do you read me? How do you feel me? How are we connecting together? What is the chemistry? It's not just physical, but it's very, very spiritual when you enter a course with somebody. Because when you go into someone, their soul is actually inside of you. They're penetrating in you. There's a deepness that happens on the inside of you that take root in a course. I'm not going to get biblical on tonight. We're not going to be deep and spiritual. We're going to reach everybody right where they are on tonight. But I had to tell you that intercourse, ladies, is spiritual. It's not just physical. I said before, when you enter into a course with someone and you connect with them, and you have a sexual encounter with them, think about all of the different components that it actually affects. It affects our mind, our bodies, our souls. It affects us in ways that we never thought that it could, never knew that it would. But when that person has come into you, has come into course with you, and you are connected, there's a binding that takes place. There's a binding that takes place. A physical binding, a mental binding, a emotional binding, a spiritual binding. Intercourse. Those of you that are in tune with your bodies, because everybody is not in tune with their bodies. Everybody is not actually in tune with themselves. They don't understand the oneness within themselves. But if you're in tune with your body, and I'm going to tell you, right at the time that you actually having sex, while you're having intercourse with that person and you're entangled, you're in lock with that person, if you just pause for a moment, you would feel the soul tie connecting. Now that's only if you're in tune with your body. And it's probably for those who are spiritually in tune, that understands the connection of soul ties and transferring of all of those emotional contacts. you would feel that. Particularly wives. Let me speak to the wives for a moment. For the wives that are connected to their spouses, connected to their mates, when you are in tune with yourself, you would feel the connection between you and your husband. And I said wives because usually with the wife, when she is romantically involved and connected with her husband on a regular basis, you understand that there's a connection like none other. And you pretty much know when that connection has been interrupted, okay? When that connection has been broken, when that connection has gone out of course, out of bound, you feel the difference. You feel something. That connection is not as deep as it once were. You're not engaged as you once were. Wives are able to pick that up. Yeah. You heard the term, your body's with me, but your mind is over on the other side of town. You can connect, you can feel it. You can feel it. And also the difference in, oh my gosh, how we're engaging. What is the foreplay? What is the romance? What's the stimulation behind it? What's the chemistry? What's going on? You can feel it. You know the difference. You're able to identify it, you know? And so when it gets to that type of situation where you feel that there's a disconnect, a disrupt, there's something that has to be questioned. There's something that has to be discussed. You really need to tune into that, pay more attention to that, connect with that, understand that, know what's going on with you. Know what's going on with you. And understand that if you're dealing with some emotional things, whether, you know, ladies, we're emotional beings, we're emotional feelers, we're emotional creatures. If we're dealing with some things emotionally, and we know it's within us, that we're not connecting, that we're not engaging, that we have our mood swings, our ups and downs, and our highs and lows, that we're going in and out in this intercourse. We're not always in the mood. We understand that we have our female issues that sometimes play a part in that. So you have to be able to identify and understand the difference of what's going on. That's why I say you have to be in tune with your body. You have to be in tune with oneself. Okay? So listen, I want to talk to us just for a moment. And I'm going to go in a little deeper, but I'm going to bring us back out. Okay? I'm going to go in a little deeper and bring us back out. But these are the ones that I am speaking to, these people, these individuals right here and right now. The serious matured, first of all. The serious matured, okay? That's who I'm speaking to first. Secondly, I'm definitely talking to the ladies on tonight, so you're going to hear it in a real way, ladies. So I'm definitely going to speak to us on tonight. And then thirdly, listen, if you're not a person that is sensual, if you're not a person that are sexually active, if you're not a person that is married, or you're not a person that that still feels, that get aroused, I'm not really talking to you right this moment, because you won't get a clue of what I'm trying to say, because I've come to realize, you know, those of us that are over 40, 50 years old, our body begins to change. A lot of things that we used to be interested in, we're no longer interested in. Things that we were connected with, we're not as connected anymore. And not, so you may not understand. So in many cases, ladies, listen. It's serious, it's humorous, but I'm really serious. For those of us that are 40 and over, I'm going to say 50. Let's deal with the 50, because usually you would hear that around 50 years old, you're not interested, you're not that sexually driven, you're not that sexually in tune. You can do with it or you can do without it. You know, it doesn't fade you anyway. There's a reason for that too. Okay, there's a reason for that, and I don't want to just dive into, because I want to dive into it right now. I really do. But I'm gonna try to hold back just a little bit. There's a reason to. And those of us that are just deep, the Holy Ghost is keeping us, and it doesn't bother us. There's no struggle. Because our mind is always wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up in the Lord, and we're not even giving place to that. We're not even putting ourselves in that position. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you too on tonight. We got to deal with that too, okay? And then there's those of us that say, you know what? It's a struggle. It's a challenge. It's kind of tough. There's sometimes that I got to shift gears in my mind, and I got to kind of like shake some things off. There's some times that I'm lonely sometimes, and sometimes that I just feel like I'm alone. I'm talking to you on tonight. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Those of us that are in relationships that are involved, that it's a struggle, I'm talking to you. Yes, I am. I'm talking to you. And I'm also talking to those who is no struggle at all. You get it on a regular. You get it when you want to get it. There's no challenge for you. When you want it, you get it, okay? When you want it, you know that booty call. You make it happen. You get it done, all right? You ain't holding back nothing. I'm talking to you on tonight. So see, everybody's in the room with us tonight. Everybody's here. I don't think I left anybody out. So everybody, we're going to kind of walk through this thing. Intercourse. Enter into course. Going into a space, into a place, going down in a course with someone, taking a road, traveling along the way, coming together, meeting each other at a fork in the road. There's a fork in the road, but you've come together on the same course. That chemistry is there. That chemistry is off the chain. You feel it. You're able to tap into it when that person is close with you and the conversation is on point. You're talking about some sensual things that is stimulating you and getting you all in. I mean, it's hitting all areas, you know. You're sexually reaching your peak. Physically, yes, you're reaching your peak. Intellectually, you're reaching your peak. Spiritually, you're reaching your peak on every level. The chemistry is good and you've connected. So now our minds are coming together. Our hearts are palpitating. And now we're locking. We're connecting. We're ready to make some things happen. Because guess what? We're a grown woman. We're a grown man. We're responsible, consensual adults. We get to do what we want. And now we've gone into that course. I'm talking to the ladies right now. We've gone into that course. And the feeling is good. Yeah, the feeling is good. You've gotten to your peak. You're feeling like you've never felt before. He knew what he was doing. Homeboy working it. He putting it down. I know y'all. I know. It's real talk. Real talk right now and tonight. And so now that you're there, what's next? More sex, more intercourse, more involvement. And to a point of pretty much no return, none. If you're with that person and it's not somebody that you are looking to be involved with, engaged with, in one with, in marriage with, in a union with, but you're just having good sex. We talked about it, and we're going to go there in part 3. Friends with benefits, because we have those friends with benefits, but who is really being benefited? Who's who's really into it, who is it really benefiting. But now, ladies, we've gotten there. And all of what we've experienced is dealing with us now. Because we're not built that way where we can just detach our mind, our heart from our body. We're not built that way. Now, a lot of us will say that, oh, we can do it. We can do it. We can get ours and get out just like a man. You know, we don't mind getting hooked up every now and then. We don't mind him coming over every now and then. Then he goes home. We got it. Because it is what it is. And I need mine and I got to get mine too. We talk a good game. We talk a whole lot of yang yang. We say a whole lot of stuff. But really deep down inside, when it's all said and done, and you thinking about that, you're really thinking about it. Where does that really leave you? I'm talking about, where does it really leave you as it relates to your self-esteem, as it relates to your self-worth, as it relates to all of what you really want for you. All of what you really, really want for you. Be honest with you, though. Be honest with you. Don't deal with it from the realm of life and getting what you want, feeling good, having fun, moving on, been there, done that, you know. Deal with you for real. Deal with you by yourself. Deal with you looking in the mirror at yourself, to yourself. Dig deep within yourself and deal with the realness that's going on in your head when no one else is there. And when you start to reminisce and think about all of the stuff that you've gone through already, all of the emotional roller coasters and all of the, you know what I call it, emotional mental gymnastics. Think about it. What is really going on? Why are you feeling so disenchanted? Why you're feeling so low? Why you're feeling so moody? I'll tell you why. There's something that happened on the inside. You've denied it for years because you went through the motion. You tried to get through it. You tried to talk yourself into it. You tried to talk yourself into the next step, into the next phase. There's something going on, and it's an emotional connection. It's the soul tie that's happening that you just can't shake it. You can't break it. And you wondering why you feel the way you feel, why you are the way you are. And you really can't break away from that which you have connected yourself to. Not instantly. It takes time. It takes some time to pull from that thing. It takes time for you to break away. It takes time for you to break through, because you were man enough. You were woman enough. You got what you wanted, and it's all about you. You didn't think that you'll be able to go the way you went, deal with it the way you dealt with it. You thought that you would be able to, hey, it was fun, got mine, finish, get it and quit it. It's not that simple. Sex is spiritual. Sex is physical. Sex is emotional. Yes. Intercourse. You've entered into that course. You're not built like that, ladies. You're not built. You can psych yourself up all day. You're not built like that. No. That's not your makeup. Now, you can say, you know what, Mary J? I beg to differ. I have no regrets. I have no feelings after that. I can get my climax and reach my peak and feel good and walk away feeling like a champ. I have no attachment to the person that I'm involved with. I'm grown. I know what I'm doing. I don't put my hearts into it. I just go through the motion and I get it and I quit it. You can say that. Yeah, you can say that. That sounds really convincing. It sounds like, like a good A good line. It's a good convincing statement that you would make into your psychic to make you feel that you can deal, that you can handle it. But deep down inside, there's some things being planted. There's some seeds being planted. There's something going on. That's why you get crazy. That's why when the breakup comes, you get emotionally out of order. That's why when he's no longer texting, no longer calling, there's some things that is happening with you. And you know what happens? Because you have felt like you're so strong enough that you're able to deal with it and handle it because it's just sex to you. Guess what happens? Emotionally, you detach, you move on, but you're going through the same thing again. You're getting entangled again. And I'm telling you, it's just so cunning until you go through the mechanics and you think that's your strength. You think that you're strong enough to handle it, that you can deal with it, and this is how you're going to deal. You go through the mechanics and you're on to the next. And until you really don't even feel anymore, you say, you know what? I ain't even in love. I don't even feel that. I'm just going on. You know, I can be emotionally detached from it. I can do it. There's a whole lot of stuff that's happening now. There's a whole lot that's going on now. Really? You really think you're built like that? You really think that's all you and that's your strong will and you can overcome it and you can get past it, you can get through it? You really think that that's how you can handle it? You really think that it's all you that's dealing the way you dealing? Oh no, boo. That's not you. That's not you. That's the person that you have conformed to. That's the hurt you. That's the wounded you. That's the person that you have talked to over and over in your head, that you shared all these secrets when you told all these lies to. That's the you that's dealing right now. Yes. But don't allow yourself to be put in that position and to go through all of those emotional in and outs, those highs and lows, those ups and downs. Listen, ladies, we always talk about the man and about what he's doing and how he's doing, and we deal with just the stuff that we've gone through. But guess what? How does he get to do it? Who does he do it with? He's not doing it by himself. If we decide that we're no longer going to deal the way we've been dealing, that we're no longer going to put ourselves in a position to be handled the way we've been handled, that we're no longer going to spread our legs and open wide, because I said before, closed legs don't break hearts. Your heart becomes broken and you become wounded because of all of the emotional ties that you've connected yourselves to, that we've gone through one relationship after the other relationship after the other relationship. And then we begin to compare all of those persons to each other. And we settle because we found through all of them, there's one good spot. He reached it. He got it. He working it. And we get stuck. We get stuck. And I told you, I've seen some ladies just really completely lose their minds. Really. Jumping on cars, breaking windshields and all of that stuff. But we think that we can handle it. I want to talk right now to the ladies that I said before. Those of us that, because this is important, that are not sexually driven. It may not be important to you if you're not a sensual being. Maybe you don't feel it. Maybe you're not aroused. You don't have to deal with it. I want to talk to you that can't keep your hands off yourself as well. Yeah, I know I'm going there. But listen, there's a hormonal imbalance. If you have your hormones that are out of balance, there may be a situation that you're dealing with that you know not of. If you really are at that place past menopausal where you feel that, something is happening with you now, that you got to a point where you like, Mary J, you know what, boo? It doesn't faze me. I don't even feel it. I don't even think about it. I don't have those sweats. I'm not dealing with that. I'm by myself. I'm lonely. And I'm good, boo. I'm good being by myself. There's a hormone imbalance. I'm not saying that's what you have. I'm just making you aware. And you may think that you just don't think about it. You don't feel it. You don't want it. It doesn't cross your mind. But there's a hormone imbalance when you 50 years and over, especially when you go through menopause, that you might need some attention to. But if you're good with not feeling, and if you're good with not thinking about it and not experiencing it, then you're okay. But what's going to happen if you're interested in getting married or having a partner or being involved with somebody, and you're interested, and that's where you are? We talk about a lot like, okay, if we've already gone through that and we've experienced that and we're good, we don't want it, we're not trying to get there, and we glad that God got us where he has us because we don't have to deal with it. But what happens when you are with that person? What happens if you're married right now and you're feeling that way? And you're really thinking that it's your sexual peak that has just been maxed out because you've spiraled down through the years of marriage. You're not interested. You have a whole lot going on. Your children are so much to handle. You work, you're busy. You got all of these things juggling. And you just think it's your cycle monthly or your mood swings. No, there's something going on. There's something going on. And it's not good. If you're connected to a partner where you're not being intimate and it's not even interested in anymore, there's something going on. And that leaves doors of opportunities to open up for you to have somebody coming in. And you don't want that. So you need to make sure that you shut those doors and that you have that to be checked, because it's a possibility. And so when you are with somebody, you are connected, because I told you the struggle is real when you have somebody. I told you before, I heard a lady say that she's saved but she's still horny, but what made her give it all up was, she had bad sex. And it woke her up. It stopped her. It brought her to reality. She had to realize that, why is she here? What is she doing? She was getting good sex all the time, going through the motion from one to the next. And then she came across somebody that wasn't as good. And it kind of made her come to realization that, she can walk away from this. But what if you can't? What if the sex is good? What if it's somebody that you're into, that you're feeling, that the chemistry is off the chain? What if it's good? Then what? Can you really walk away? There's some struggles, there's some battles, there's some things that you go through, some things that you deal with to break through, to break away when it's good. When it's good, it's gotta be yours, right? When it's good. It's gotta be for you when it's good. But we're going to talk about that. How do you break away? That's what somebody want to know. I know. They asked me that before. How do you break away? Part 3, we're going to talk about how to break away. It's hard to break away. It's difficult to break away. And especially And just how do you stay free from sexual activity when you are in a relationship? Because that's when the challenge comes. When you're in a relationship, it doesn't come when you're not in it. When you're not in it, you can be strong. You can be secure with yourself. You can be good at being, practicing abstinence and being chaste and all of that, celibacy, all of that. We talk all about it. You can be good when you don't have a relationship and you're not in a relationship. You're not involved with anybody. It's easier not to have sex because you don't have anybody to have sex with. But what happens when you do? What happens when you do and you want to? Okay? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk to the ladies who just have been celibate for years and years and years and years, and the Lord has kept you, and you just don't have these kind of struggles. You don't have these battles because you fast and you pray all day. You're a spiritual being. You walking around, you don't have any weaknesses. You're not dealing with no sexual weaknesses at all. Okay? If that's not your struggle, if you don't have it, let me say this. If you do not get aroused in any way, if you do not connect centrally in any way, you're not feeling nothing. That's not the Holy Ghost. Because the Holy Ghost don't need to keep you if you're not feeling anything. Ain't nothing to keep. There's nothing there. There's nothing there to keep. The Holy Ghost don't need to keep you. Let me tell you, the Holy Ghost, for the church folk, the Holy Ghost comes in to help you when you have a struggle. If you're not having a struggle, if it's not anything that you think about, it's not anything you desire, it's not anything you want, you don't need the Lord to keep you for that. That's just who you are. And that's a hormone imbalance. That's what that is. So that's something that has to be treated. That's something that you need to go to the doctor to see about. That's what that is. But if you're okay with being there because you don't have anybody, you don't want anybody, you're not trying to get anybody, you're not looking for a husband, you don't want one, even if he came to your door in the package of all that you desire, but you don't want one, then you're good. But if you do, you're going to have a situation. I'm telling you, you're going to have a problem. Okay? But we're going to talk about it, ladies. We're going to talk about intercourse. We're going in. You're getting into the course. Okay? Like in a court, in a course. Coming into the space, getting in closer, in deeper, going in a little further. Intercourse is spiritual. It's not just physical. And intercourse is good. When you are connected to the right person, you are clicking on every level. And let me tell you, you know your levels. You know your levels. You know what makes you tick. You know what brings you there. Intercourse, intimacy, seeing into me. How do you feel inside of me? How do you come together with me? Oh, I know it's deep. I know. But it's intellectual. It's spiritual. It's physical. It's what you want it to be, but it'll take you into deep places where you don't want to be, where you don't want to stay, where you don't want to go. Yeah. If we think like this, ladies, if we think this way, the last man that I slept with, that I had sex with, is the last man that I would have sex with. The last one. Think about the last one. No matter how good it was, think about the last one. If that's your last one, until you know you're in the place where you want to be with that person, where you know there's some future, It's taking you somewhere. Or, it depends on where you are, because I know everybody is not there. It depends on where you are, where you want to be, where you want to go, how far you want to go, how deep you want to go. Where are your paths leading into your course? What course are you taking? Where are you trying to get to? Where are you going? If you're not going anywhere and you're good with just riding through it, staying there and staying stuck, and there's no coming out, then you're okay with being where you are. But we're talking to the mature and the serious women, and especially those of us that know our worth and know our value. What course are you taking? Where are you trying to go? Where are you trying to get to? What goals you have set for yourself? If not, you're going to be scattered abroad. Scattered abroad. Soul tides. Tying your soul into another person. Into that person that person has tied. That person that person has tied. So on and so forth. Soul tied is a strong, deep connection. How do we come out of it? Connect with us on next week. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how do you come out of it. You'll be able to come out. You don't have to stay stuck. You can move forward. Yes, you can. You can bounce back. You can break away. But we're going to talk about the realness. All right? Okay, ladies, this is Matters of the Heart, up close and personal, in your face. I know it's in your face on tonight. We're dealing with intercourse. We're going to talk about part 3 on next week. Next week. To break away from it. Okay? Sometimes, ladies, it's so hard. And you know what the worst part is? When our hearts sometimes have to be broken for us to break away. Sometimes our hearts have to be broken in order for us to break through, to break away from it. Okay? And sometimes you just gotta let it go. Find some mutual friends. Find an accountability partner to get connected with, and just spend a lot of time staying busy, staying active, preoccupying your mind, breaking away from all of the things that remind you of that person, deleting those texts that you read over and over again, reviewing the conversation and how it went and what happened and all of the stuff that goes with it. Deleting those photos, getting all that stuff out of your phone, out of your mind, out of your home, it's a lot. It's steps that we have to take in order to break away. But the main thing is, if you just look at yourself, and you guys, I say this all the time, if you look at yourself in the mirror long enough, deep enough to see the real you inside, not the one that's hiding behind all the lies, not the one that don't know their worth, not the one that does not know their value, but the one inside that is deeper than the skin is. Talk to that person. You can't lie to her. You can't lie to him. When you talk to yourself on a real level, not in front of anybody else, the time that you have with yourself by yourself, and that stuff begin to replay in your head, all of those flashbacks, all of that childhood memory, all of those things that happen, all of those broken relationships, all of that pain, when you start thinking about all of that stuff and replaying that in your head, in your mind, it helps you to get back to the real you, the person inside of you, the one that is fighting to overcome every brokenness, every battle, every betrayal, everything that you have gone through. It's going to make you better, not bitter. But you'll be able to break free of that. You don't have to stay stuck. Intercourse, into this course, is spiritual. All right. Connect with me once again, ladies, on next week for Matters of the Heart, up close and personal. I know our gentlemen are in the room. They kind of exited the room when they heard what we were really talking about. They don't want to really hear all of that, of how you're going to stop having sex with them if you're not married to them and you're not committed to them. You're not in a committed relationship. We're not going steady. We're not, no more booty calls, no more, really? Yeah, really. It's going to be deep. So go subscribe to my YouTube channel. And those of you that are watching by YouTube, you can connect right here. You just go ahead and press the link below. You'll be able to connect and leave a comment there on YouTube. And I would love to have you to continue to connect with us for Matters of the Heart on Monday nights with your girl, Real Talk with Mary J. Okay. Talk to you all on next week.